Welcome back to Digi Bro and Pals. Apparently we're being tentacle raped right now.
Japan is
that's right. This is the
pleased.
Prothean. Yeah.
I'm a monument to all your
man,
sins.
I like vaguely remember.
It looked like that.
Yeah, I remember.
That's what it looked like.
That looks.
But now it looks like this.
The original looks a lot more familiar to me. I mean, this one's definitely cooler.
Like, oh God.
Doesn't look like just a big turd.
I'd rather not piss that thing.
Whoa,
oh
what
God!
the fuck? Why would it start us like this?
We missed some pertinent information in that cutscene.
Well, apparently one needler is enough to take out.
These are the brutes.
Brutes, yeah. Fat monkeys. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that in the time since the last video, some of you guys probably read some Film Crit Hulk.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool, wasn't it?
And you were like, holy shit, this guy is a guy.
Yeah, you might have gone in search of the tangible details post. Pretty cool. Maybe you started working your way through the epic James Bond post. It was pretty cool because when he released that...
Digi Bros, the only Let's Play show that gives you homework.
Yeah. The James Bond posts were released like he released it in 4 parts, one each night. So like for 4 nights in a row, I spent like all night reading about James Bond. That was pretty fun. And then I felt learned.
You learned real good?
I learned today about this long dick.
Oh.
So
okay.
Another Film Crit Hulk post that I like is the J.J. Abrams mystery box one. I mentioned that in the last video, but I didn't actually talk about what it was. Which is that have you heard of J.J. Abrams' mystery box theory?
No.
Basically, the way that he handles like hype for his movies and stuff is that he tries to like hint at the idea that there's a mystery that's going to be revealed, but not actually like tell you, hide what the truth is, like what is the mystery, but just kind of vaguely inform you that there is a mystery, sort of like with Lost, how there was like there'd be all these like hints that something bigger was gonna happen, throughout the show. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Seen Lost. So
like something else is going on even though you have no idea that there even is supposed to be something hidden from you. Yes,
exactly. And like the advertising for his movies will always be like, "Oh, what's this thing? Oh, what's the mystery?" But like the problem with writing that way is that it's a hollow mystery. Basically, you're bored until you know what the answer is.
Right.
And then once you know the answer, then the rest of it is pointless. And that's what I hate about a lot of mystery shows.
That didn't work.
I've said before that like mystery is like my least favorite genre, and this is why. And like I mean, there's probably a more broad meaning of mystery than like what I typically use. But what I hate is when I feel like a story is stringing me along until I know what the plot twist is. If the reason I'm watching the movie is to know the ending, then the movie is fucking boring. Like I love a good like twist, and like when I'm already deeply involved in the story, when I'm like, oh man, this is so cool, and then like something happens that changes your whole perspective, and you're like, oh fuck, that guy was the killer,
the ghost the whole time.
But like when you spend the whole movie just going, all right, is it gonna be this guy? Is that the killer? Is he the killer? Which one's it gonna be? Oh, okay, it was that guy. Like when they reveal it, you're like, oh well, I guess I know now. I guess I'm informed. It just feels like you're watching the movie just to have a bit of knowledge, that is pretty much worthless. That who cares who the killer was in this movie, like... Do you get where I'm coming from? Do you feel this similarly?
It's really kind of the problem with like every single M. Night Shyamalan movie. There's nothing happening. You just know there's a twist, and then the twist is just
after that first one. Yeah, like you feel like it's like you're just waiting to know the point.
And then you really don't have rewatch values.
Like I'd say The Happening felt like that, where the whole movie is just like people are killing themselves and everyone going, oh, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. Oh, this is so mysterious. And then at the end, it's like, oh, it's trees, you know. And you're like, well, now I know.
Trees.
It's
the trees.
It was a stupid And the thing is, like, people hate, like, that's another tangible details thing, right? People hate that movie because they think that it being the trees was stupid. But the movie was just stupid. Like, even if the reason for why everything was happening had been, like, a clever reason, it wouldn't save the fact that the movie is boring and dumb. And, like, the whole movie doesn't matter because it's just a bunch of characters who are completely unlikable and have no believable dialogue, running around going, oh, people are dying, we're not assholes! Just give me a second, just give me a second, man, all I want is a second. It's a stupid movie.
I definitely much prefer scenarios where the big thing that's happening is sort of revealed early on. The characters go about trying to figure it out, fix it, and then like a twist can happen.
Right. I like it when, like, I think I talked about this on this show before, but like to me the best example of like how to do it right is Gurren Lagann, where throughout the entire show, all your understanding of it is just that the characters, like the main characters, live in an underground village and they don't like it there, and they want to see the surface world, you know, and like they pretty much just want to see the surface for the sake of it. They want to know what's out there, and then once they get on the surface, they find out that the reason that they all live underground is that there's these beast men that rule the world above, and so they decide to rebel against the beast men, and like the whole show works that way. Like, in the first episode, your motivation for watching is that you like the characters and you want to see them succeed at what they want to do. And then, like, you know, once you learn about the Beastmen, it's like, okay, we gotta beat the Beastmen. We gotta figure out what the deal is. But then, like, halfway through the show, it's revealed that the reason that the Beastmen were holding people down is that there's an even greater threat that was, like...
There's the Beastmen squared.
Well, there's the anti-spirals, which is like, basically, they're trying to keep the human population down because if they don't, then the anti-spirals will destroy the universe. Because they think that humans advancing too much is creating too much entropy in the universe and it's causing it to expand too much, and therefore it's eventually going to die out. And so they're trying to keep the universe from achieving entropy by keeping the populations of advanced planets down as far as possible, and they have themselves in like a cryo state, basically. And none of that, like, if I didn't know any of that, the first part of the show would still be great. You know, like, I enjoyed the show just fine as it was, but then once I learned that, it's like, whoa, this is, like, way bigger and more interesting than you first thought, you know? But, like, it didn't make me feel like I was just waiting for that to happen. Like, the whole show I was having a good time, and then that came out of nowhere and was like a shock, and it was like, oh, man, this is even more interesting.
Am I just gonna fall forever?
And I think that's the one thing that I think that Kill La Kill didn't do as well as Gurren Lagann, and that's why I don't rate it quite as highly, is that Kill La Kill had a lot longer of a time of me going, alright, what does any of this mean? Like, what's the point? Like, are we building to something here? Is there a twist I'm waiting for? You know, like, the show is plenty enjoyable, but you definitely feel like you're waiting to find out what the deal is, you know? Right. And then once you do know what the deal is, you're like, I wish I had known this 13 episodes ago and I would have been way more invested in the show, you know?
Part of twists and mysteries is finding the best moment to reveal whatever it is you're trying to reveal.
You have to dole out information at a rate that keeps your audience interested in what's happening. You don't ever want them to feel like they're waiting around to know the truth. You want them to feel like they have to feel like they already know what's interesting about this show, and then suddenly find out that there's something else and be like, oh.
Oh.
But the sad thing is, I know there's a lot of people who don't feel that way, who do like more of the mystery and like the plot twist reveal stuff, because there's always people who will drop shows early on because they think it's not going anywhere, even though they only watch like 3 episodes and like...
I have to do classic Halo and teabag everybody.
Like, for instance, Log Horizon, which is one of my favorite shows, like, I was interested right from the beginning because it already had, like, an intriguing premise. And then from there on out, you constantly learn new things that make the world more and more interesting. And I've had people be like, In this show they don't even die, and in Sword Art Online they die, and that's more interesting. So I didn't watch Log Horizon.
It's more interesting that they die.
Because there's more stakes, you know. There's more juicy stakes in the narrative. Because
I like juicy steaks. Like yesterday, I had a juicy steak.
I jumped off
and
the world.
It was like pretty.
Half of my deaths in this playthrough have been me jumping off the world. Was that what we were supposed to
Jump
go
off the
through?
world?
That thing we just went through?
Yeah.
How the fuck were we supposed to see that?
I wasn't. I just kind of saw purple and was like, oh, let me go into the purple thing. And then I exploded like a true man. Yeah.
I realize I'm the only one alive, and now I have to.
Now you have to focus.
Let's go back up here.
This is the part of the show where nothing happens. There we go.
Yeah.
We both said there we go at the same time.
Like the thing is, like in Sword Art Online, you know, they establish the premise very quickly. People die if they're killed, and it's in a video game, and like people get so invested just based on that, you know. That like they immediately are like, oh, the whole show is exciting, even though nothing that happens after that is ever interesting again. Like the premise is the only interesting fact about the entire show. And then they watch Log Horizon and they're like, oh, but people don't die in the game. They don't die for real, so there's no stakes. And it's like, because the narrative's not a death game story. It's about other things. It's about world building and like showing how a society forms inside of a game. And personally, I thought that was pretty clear, like from the start, that they were setting up for something that was like, you know, that was a lot bigger.
So would you say it's like a slower paced show?
It's a lot slower paced, but like you always, or at least to me, it always felt like it was like every little piece of information it tells you is building towards something more important. You know, like
there's no arbitrary information. It's all.
There is arbitrary scenes. It's not like super tightly written or anything, but like
what the hell just happened?
It's a lot of like little details that inform you about like how the world works, and then like it'll pull something out of a hat that makes you go, "Oh, fuck." Like for instance, they'll establish at one point that you can buy buildings in the city, right? Like that anybody can make, if they raise a certain amount of money, they can buy a building in the city. And there's like a guild hall where these people are like, basically these assholes have a guild hall and they're like torturing the newbies and stuff.
Oh, we gotta
and, like,
go back
forcing
up.
them to work. And so the main character guy like puts like basically teams up with all these other guilds, and they buy the guild hall and force out the other people. And like it's presented like a big twist, because like you have all this information about the world. You know that they can buy buildings, you know that they can do this and that, but like unless you really think ahead, you don't know why all that information is relevant. You know, it just kind of teaches you little things about the world, and then there's a big like reveal, and it's like, oh fuck, that's why we needed to know that, because now we know this, you know. And I think that's a good way.
You learn something in passing, and it turns out to be more important than you initially thought.
Yes, it's good setups. Those are always a good idea.
Do we gotta
Setting
go back
you
that
up
way?
to learn. I don't know, man. This place is fucking confusing.
This is Commander Keys all over again.
This really does remind me of Commander Keys. It's pretty much that scenario. It's got the same stupid doors.
We're rescuing people.
Same purple ass. What does the original look like? This actually looks less. Well, then again, we were playing on new graphics when we did the Commander Keys mission.
Yeah. Very, very.
Does that go
dark
up?
and
Is there
gray.
another up?
Here
There's
it's
not
all.
another up.
It's very colorful.
Could we have gone further down?
No,
there more
it was
down?
just 3 levels, I think.
What the fuck? Is there an open door on any of these levels?
None up this way. If you're
Wait,
watching,
there's
please
a
comment
door.
and let us know.
Did we come from here?
Probably
go
about
here?
3 weeks after we've played this.
Okay, we've already been in this room.
That's where we got those people.
Oh, are we taking them somewhere?
I think we're like on a rescue mission.
I hate when they do shit like this in Halo. It's all the other stuff I'm fine with. This stuff I'm not fine with. when it's like a weird, confusing roundabout, like.
What are you doing?
I think Halo games should be programmed in a way where you don't have to pay attention to understand what's going on. You know? I don't think they should have anything where if you didn't hear a line of dialogue, you're not entirely sure what's happening, because it's Halo. It should just be running around shooting stuff, and anything you need to do should be implicitly understood. Is it this door? I think it's this door. Because Cortana was in front of it. Yep, I found it.
Alright.
I don't know how we... I don't know, man. I don't know why this was so difficult to figure out. Everything looks the same.
Well, we're not smart.
That's true.
We might occasionally come off as having some sort of intellect, but we really have none.
Not like not in the kind of amounts that would allow us to have like higher motor functions. That would require a bit more than what we've got going on. We understand things like shoot gun.
If you point the pointy end
Video game
at the thing, it'll die.
Video game.
I like to play games.
Video game.
I video games.
Video game.
Enemies are this way, therefore this is the right direction.
Yeah, that's typically the the way you go about learning things.
Whoa, holy shit.
Oh, here's a guy.
My controller just decided, like, I made him go boom.
Does this thing have like a better melee because of the blade on the back? Or
yeah,
is it...
it's like a bayonet.
Sweet. Awesome. Come back here.
We going?
Fucker. Are they just like, is there, where are they coming from?
They're falling down the thing.
Oh my god. That is precious.
We're just watching.
Oh! Ah!
Oh!
Back up.
Okay, here we go.
I guess the time is now. This level's stupid and I hate it. This is the worst level so far. I hate this stupid ass shit.
I'm gonna make someone dizzy. Oh, wait.
Jesus.
I'm all the way back up. Now I look dumb.
Oh, whoa. Okay, I fell down.
Why
are their ships so stupidly designed?
Because they're aliens. Aliens are stupid. Every bit of sci-fi has told you that aliens are smarter than us, but Halo games have taught me that they're fucking retarded.
They do tend to, well, I don't know. They're pretty good at like
running away.
Siege tactics, I guess. I mean, they took Reach.
Well, those were the dumb ones. We sent all the dumb people there.
Oh, God.
That's Trump's planet for the people he doesn't like.
Trump exported them all, or deported them all, rather.
Go back to your own planet.
I don't think Trump has a hillbilly voice. He might have hillbilly ideas, but he doesn't have a hillbilly voice.
I like to imagine Trump with a hillbilly voice. Don't take this from me.
I like people have been comparing him to Trunit, which is or Trunit, I don't know how to pronounce it. The president in
oh, Jesus.
In The Legend of the Galactic Heroes of the Alliance side, because it's basically like this really corrupt politician guy who like whips people up into a frenzy, like, you know, using like idealistic terms and stuff, but he like is completely self-aware about it. Like he clearly doesn't like
necessarily believe all of it.
Yeah, he's just being a politician, you know. And there's one amazing line where he's like democracy can't be perfect because how did someone like me get elected? Like something to that effect, you know. Like he acknowledges that he is a shitbag, basically, and everyone who watches the show hates him so much.
He's just a dead hunter, and we didn't kill it. Something more powerful is here. Oh, yep, more hunters. Okay, so get ready for that.
Not that I'm unconvinced that Trump believes the things he says. I wouldn't be surprised if he does, but like, I definitely feel like he says most of it to, like, you know, to create
a frenzy.
Yeah,
get people like
he wants people to be enraged and afraid, and to vote for him on that basis. You know, he wants people to think that they have an enemy that needs to be killed, and he's the guy who can kill them. You know.
Nah, man, we stand with Linda.
Linda?
Have you heard of Linda? There was a Twitter post of this or maybe it was Facebook or something. It was like a suburban mom, and she was like, "I will destroy ISIS."
That's great.
And she was like, "I take it back. I will not destroy ISIS." But a lot of people had seen her post by then,
Right.
and they made her come back, and she's like, "All right, I vow to destroy ISIS. I will make them was."
Was?
Is was because she will destroy them.
I don't understand.
Because ISIS is spelled ISIS, so
Oh!
they are
Wow,
is.
that
so
is-
she's gonna make them was.
That is actually more clever than I was capable of understanding. That or so bad that my brain refused to acknowledge
it
it.
shut down. And there's like Photoshop of her like on soldiers like with sniper rifles and things like that. It's like, here comes Linda.
That's pretty great.
It's things like that that make me love the internet.
You know what makes me love the internet?
Porn.
Yes. Sure. Any answer I had, I was like, oh, that's a better answer.
What truly makes you love the internet?
Oh, porn, yeah.
Yeah,
That was a good one.
Who doesn't love porn? Is there anyone that's like
There's a lot of people who don't necessarily love porn.
actively love porn? They still enjoy a little porn
I think
every now and
you know, there's a lot of people who have issue with porn because of like they know too much about it and how it's made and how like depressing it is.
Yeah.
But you know, that's what anime porn is for. I think, and that's like the biggest reason that a lot of
Jesus.
people get into anime porn, and I've raised this point before, is that it is paradoxically more real. Because anime porn has a story, right? And that story, in the context of the narrative, is completely true. If you see two porn actors, like, saying that they're supposed to be like a couple and they're in love, you will not believe it. Like, there is no virgin porn star.
I want
you know?
to believe.
There's no virgin porn star. It's all acting. It's all hammy, and you know the quote unquote acting itself is hammy. It's hard to. I have a hard time believing that that anyone in the porn I'm watching is actually enjoying having the sex that I'm watching, because I know that as someone once put it, it's almost like athletic, the amount of shit they have to do. You know, I've heard that like guys who do porn, their dicks basically become unfeeling. Like, they just go numb and they just can't even feel sensation in it anymore. They're just a plow machine. The girls are, you know, in the same boat. It's just, for a lot of them, it's just not fun anymore. There's a lot of bad culture around it, a lot of drug culture around it, a lot of people getting abused and,
raped.
You know, raped. So it's just like, when you watch porn, like, it might be titillating, but it's hard to believe that it's
That
actually
was a pun.
fun.
Hey-o! He said tit. Because there's boobs in porn.
Thank you.
Get it?
I don't think that's a pun.
Do you get it?
Yes, I understand.
BoJack Horseman, everybody.
Jesus, you. Was that from BoJack
It's
Horseman?
whenever he tells a joke, he's at least in
Oh, yeah,
like the
he's like,
flashbacks,
"Did you
like,
get it?"
"Did you get it? Did you get it?"
Yeah.
That was my worst grenade.
What I was trying to explain before you interrupted me with that insane tangent is that, like, when you watch anime porn, then for the even though, like, they obviously are not real people, for the characters, what they're experiencing is real. They are actually enjoying it. It is actually, sometimes they're actually in love, sometimes it's actually, like, you know, innocent or something. Like, it just captures all kinds of feelings that can't actually be captured in live action porn. And that's what a lot of people like about it. Especially people who are into, like, vanilla stuff exclusively, where, like, they only like anime porn if it's, like, consenting, romantic, you know, type stuff, as opposed to the insane rape porn that is a lot of anime porn.
What kind of anime porn are you into?
I like all of it because it's porn. As long as the
There's
characters are
people
attractive.
fucking on the screen. Now I'm satisfied.
A lot of the time, I prefer I prefer my anime porn in Japanese, so I don't have to know the dumb shit they're saying. I just want to see the images.
Okay.
Because a lot of the dialogue is fucking retarded in anime porn. And it's often the same. I blew you up. Because you stood on my
I want you to know that I appreciate everything you've done for me.
But, like, when you watch anime porn, it's always, like, the same shit. And it's always super dumb. It's always like, oh my god, you're hitting all the way to my cervix and it feels amazing. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And so I sometimes will seek out not having subtitles or translations if it's manga, just so that I don't have to listen to their dumb bullshit and I could just enjoy the aesthetic character designs. But there are some porn that have, like, good stories, and that makes it even better, where you're like...
You start masturbating, and you're like, the plot's really good. Maybe I should watch.
Well, I mean, like, where like, the plot makes the fapping better.
Oh.
Like, the characters were attractive already.
The story's so good! Yeah!
But once you know, like... Once you're like, oh man, this is so intimate and cool, and like, these characters, like, this is the kind of relationship I wish I really had in real life. And then you get off super hard because you're like thinking about like sex you would actually want to have.
And then you fuck your pillow.
I think that only extremely short-sighted or ignorant people would want to have porn sex. Porn sex doesn't look like it feels good. It looks like acrobatics, you know? When they've got a chick turned up on the table and they're just like going jackhammer style. Most of the moves are not
like designed
doable. They're not doable.
They're not designed to where it feels good. It's designed so that the camera can see it.
Right, or that it looks like intense or crazy. You know,
depending on what kind of porn it is.
And a lot of those you have to have like I think part of the reason that porn actors all have huge dicks isn't just because people want to see huge dicks, it's because you have to have them to pull those off. Like some of the crazy stuff they do where you're like, your dick wouldn't be able to reach if it wasn't 9 inches long.
Halo
you know?
reach?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. I have a tiny dick, and I could not perform the moves that are necessary for porn.
Still on this, like, I see. Still on the tiny dick
I
thing.
could not be a porn actor, because my dick is not long enough to do an upside-down hangover of the table.
Yeah. Mine is... Hey!
Oh! Title of the episode, Porn is not real,
not
tiny
seriously.
dick.
My dick is...
I'm tiny dick!
My dick is definitely...
Oh no!
Why does that keep happening?
I don't know. I think my controller's stupid. I think I'm sweating into it or something. It's kind of hot in here.
It is a little hot in here. I'm not sure why.
Digi Bros, the show where we get
hot look at all
and
this
sensual.
Ooh, shit happening everywhere.
I'm just gonna go this way.
I think the little guys are on our team, maybe.
Nah,
this
man.
is when all the Covenant are fighting each other. It's like a civil war.
Yeah, so we just run through. Just like, yeah. Just gonna go this way.
I hit. Okay, I did kill that guy. I'm just trying to stay back and not get involved too.
I just ran through and I didn't see a single
fuckers.
Enemy. So.
What? I've been shooting them from.
Oh, good job.
You're like way ahead of me.
Yeah, you made ISIS was. Good job, Linda.
There was like a whole battle going on, and you just ran right past it.
That's how I do. That's how I do real war.
March the war, total war. It's a Slayer song.
Oh.
I don't think I sang it right.
Probably not. I imagine it's a lot faster.
It's been a long time since I've listened to Slayer, particularly that album, which was Christ Illusion, which we used to listen to while playing Gears of War. That's a pretty fun fit. I highly recommend.
I remember Gears of War.
Gears of War was cool, man. I was really into that game. That was probably my favorite game for a while.
That was one of those games where something small sort of ruined it for me.
What was it?
Just like the character design, like how massive they all were.
It was pretty goofy. I mean...
No, like, I'm fine with the goofy, but I was like, isn't there supposed to be a global famine? How are these guys so fucking big?
Well, I think it was implied that, like, they
had, like, super
They were super
or something.
soldiers, yeah.
It was one of those, the story didn't grab me or anything like that, so I just didn't keep going.
The story was not interesting in Gears of War. I will give you that. It was not a great story, but the combat was was great.
I did play the
for
multiplayer
time.
a little bit. Like, the multiplayer was kind of fun.
It was
because it was just pure combat.
It was to the third-person shooter what Halo was to the first-person shooter. Something that made it far more accessible and widespread, and and
they're coming out with a new one. Gears of War 4.
Yeah, those have an even slower production cycle than Halo, I feel like. Well, maybe not, because Halo 3 came out at the same time as Gears of War 1, pretty much, so... Yeah, I guess not.
I think Halo 3 was sort of like when they were like, okay, Halo's going to start slowing down. We need another franchise.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't like the same people made it. I mean,
no, but it's all Microsoft still, so they're sort of got a hand in publishing and shit.
I loved Gears of War, especially because I didn't really like Halo 3, so like I was more into Gears of War at that time than Halo, and then Gears of War 2, like, because I played through 1 a bunch, and I played like co-op with like Vic and Brando and stuff, and I'd played a lot of online matches and shit. But then Gears of War 2 came out, and like the campaign just seemed super boring in that game. Cause it's like, is this an enemy or a friend? It's not giving me a. He's shooting at me. So
I legit can't see.
It wasn't giving me like a red marker, but it wasn't giving me a green one either. Maybe the sniper rifle just doesn't.
He's
have
from
a
the
marker.
neutral planet.
Tell my wife.
I said
hello.
Hello.
Oh shit! I'm out of ammo.
So Futurama's gone forever.
Oh, you can't have 2 of the same weapon.
I can have 2 of the same weapon.
I didn't think the Comedy Central season of Futurama was very good.
They had a few seasons.
Well, I only saw like a few episodes, and I just thought the characters, it kind of did the thing where all the characters were stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because it used to be that like Leela was like the voice of reason, and everyone else was kind of dumb. And then in the new season, Leela was just as dumb as everyone else. Like, everyone was dumb. No one was the voice of reason. It was just chaos. And I thought that was strange, because it seemed like Leela's character had completely changed because she was going out with Fry now or something.
Fry's brainwaves made her dumber.
Could be. Anyway, what I was saying, I got off topic. I was talking about Gears of War.
I'm gonna throw you off topic.
The Gears of War campaign, the Gears of War 2 campaign was stupid because it was just like, it was one of those where it had like tons of like events, or what's the phrase I'm looking for? Set pieces, where like you start off, the game starts off with you on like this like ship, like a land ship kind of thing.
Okay.
And there's like a whole war going on like around you, but you're just like sitting on this thing like for 5 minutes, like listening to dialogue and watching like bullshit happen. And I was just like, this is Gears of War. Why am I not killing stuff right now? Like, what is this bullshit story that cannot possibly matter to anyone? Why am I not shooting things right now? And I just stopped playing like right there. But it did have Horde mode, which was awesome, which is basically the same thing as zombies.
Gears of War pretty much started the Horde mode thing, like in terms of mainstream popularity, and then pretty much every other game, if it came out, it had a Horde mode.
Yeah, Horde mode was great, because me and Brando would team up, because you could do like co-op Horde. And
even Mass Effect had a Horde mode at one point.
That is weird. I can't believe Mass Effect 3 has an online mode, and apparently a lot of people liked it.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun with it.
But like,
it was because you could pick your race. Like, you could play as like Quarians, you could play as Turians.
Like, I understand why it happened,
and you were just
and
fighting
it's because
like Reapers and
the games were stupid expensive, especially 3, and they were trying to have the most mass market appeal possible, and they thought if we throw in a multiplayer mode, more people will buy it.
Oh shit, I have no
And
idea.
I think it worked, because as stupid as it is, Mass Effect 3 did sell more than the first 2 games because they marketed it so much. But like, I don't think they should have made Mass Effect 3 a giant game. I think it should. I don't think the graphics needed to get. Oh
shit! It put us way the fuck back.
You've played. Wow. Why? I'm tempted to end this episode and start a new one just because.
Because of how far we went.
Well, because it's like this is getting long. Well, I don't know. We're only at like 35 minutes right now, but I don't know how much longer this level is.
Well, we could split this one up into two if you want.
Let's just say next time on Digi Bros. Welcome back to Digi Bros. If you're still watching the same episode, quick. Then that's because I didn't split it because we're towards the end. But yeah, like you've played all 3 Mass Effects a lot.
Yes.
You've played the first game.
I went
times.
through. It's the only series that I have every possible achievement in.
Yes.
In Fallout, I have every possible achievement except for the newest one, of course. But I went back and played the first game about 7 times. Because that's about how many times you had to play it to get every achievement.
So you've played them all. Now, I think you'll agree with me that Mass Effect 3 has by far the best combat system.
Yes.
The combat was truly brought to the pinnacle.
I would also say I think it had the best DLC.
Yeah, I have heard that.
I
haven't gotten to play the DLC yet, which I regret because I've heard it's all amazing and I would love to play it. But yeah.
I could bring it.
But here, okay. You also agree with me that Mass Effect 3 is by far the best graphics.
Yes.
Like, unbelievable graphics.
It's a beautiful game.
Now, would you also agree with me that Mass Effect 3 totally did not need to have those graphics? Like, if Mass Effect 3 had looked the same as Mass Effect 1, I don't think it would have been any worse of... I mean, not 1, but 2.
Yeah, I was about to say, if it went back to 1, that would be like,
1 would be weird.
Fuck?
But, like, 2 was already a fantastic-looking game. And clearly, the graphical leap it took to get to 3 was massive. And that probably cost them $1 billion bajillion to make those fucking graphics.
No, because 2 still looks beautiful, so, like,
but 3 is, like, crazy. Like, 3 is a whole different level, I think. Like, that's probably one of the, like, best-looking games I've ever seen before. Just, like, everything was, like, amped up to, like, an insane degree, I thought. And I feel like the amount of extra that they spent on making 3 look as good as it looked, like, is what made it so they had to make it so marketable. And, like, it's weird to do that because Mass Effect was a continuing story. Like, 2 and 3, the stories are fucking worthless if you haven't played 1, you know? I recently, because Mass Effect 2 is my favorite, and I've considered it one of my, like, top 5 favorite games for a long time. And so I thought about, like, just playing through Mass Effect 2 again to, like, see if I still felt the same way about it.
Oh,
and
what the hell?
I got, like, 4 hours into the game, and I was like, I feel no investment in this storyline, because I hadn't played through 1 again, and, like, 2 just kind of kicks off, like, really fast, and, like, jumps in, and all the characters are there, and, like, if you don't really remember, like, why you like them, then it's just kind of like, what the fuck is happening? But, like, for me, when I played 2 the first time, it was like I had just beaten 1, I was, like, really into it, and, you know, I loved all these characters and stuff, and so, like, you know, when Garrus comes back, it's like, oh, Garrus, you're back! You know, fuck yeah, this is the best!
Hey, buddy.
You know, whereas if you don't have that experience, and, like, when Garrus shows up in 2, you're just like, oh, who's this guy? It's Archangel. I don't know who he is.
I tend to remember stuff like that, so I'm just like, fuck yeah. Even if it's been a few years.
Right, but I'm just saying if you hadn't played 1, then 2 would not have been at all interesting, right? And 3 certainly would not have been interesting.
It would have been interesting, just not probably for the same reasons.
Like, if you didn't know Mass Effect 2 and you played 3, then who the fuck cares about the genophage? Like, why would saving...
Right.
Why would you care about saving the...
Missions like that would not have the same impact.
Right. Like, you would have no reason to give a fuck about the what the fuck are they called, that race?
Krogans?
Yeah, the Krogans. You would have no reason to care about the Krogans because you didn't just spend 2 games becoming best friends with Krogans, you know, or becoming best friends with Mordin Solus and learning his whole backstory. You know,
Mordin,
who is my favorite character in video games ever.
R.I.P.
Yeah, don't spoil that.
Nah, man, we're years past that. Fuck you. I'm gonna spoil everything.
I know I don't really believe in spoilers, but like, I just want people to play Mass Effect because it's good. And I know there's a lot of people who watch my shit who probably haven't played it at all.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going backwards.
Yeah, you are. It brought me back to where you were because you went backwards.
That's stupid. Should have brought me to you. Should have said, this guy's being the idiot. Well, I must be the idiot here because I thought the portal between Demon World and Human World had been sealed up. No. I'm guessing you have no idea what I'm talking about.
I'm guessing that's Inuyasha?
No, that's Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, yeah.
It's from Fingers Around My Dick.
Which is funny because that's one of the only anime shows that I've watched in its entirety.
Oh.
And I don't remember that.
It's a really good show. It's from like episode 95, so...
That's probably why I don't remember it.
Yeah.
It's very, very long into it.
Yeah, but there's a video called Fingers Around My Dick that I would be shocked if I've never showed you before.
You have not.
I'll have to immediately after we finish this play session because it's one of my favorite videos in the history of mankind. Anyway, what the fuck are we talking about?
AIDS.
Mass Effect, yeah. Like, you know, they advertised the fuck out of it. They raised the graphical fidelity. They added in like a multiplayer and all this other bullshit and fucking the origin shit and all that. And it's like, Mass Effect 3 should not have been for everyone. It should have been for people who played Mass Effect 1 and 2. You know, the people who they should have been worried about were the people who played the first two games. And I appreciate that they needed the big audience in order to make up for the amount they spent on the game, but they shouldn't have spent that much on the game. They should have kept it the same price as Mass Effect 2 and marketed it to fans of Mass Effect 2.
Go back so I can come back alive.
And then we wouldn't have so many fucking people pissed off about how infuriating the ending was. And
they did eventually go back. Of course, it was just something small.
Right, they did the stupid what's it
They
bullshit.
gave a little comic to sort of help with it.
Nobody liked it. The whole ending was dumb.
I appreciated the attempt.
But even then, like I said, I'm not nearly as bothered by the ending as most people are.
I'm not either. Like even when I
itself.
first got to the ending, I was like, okay,
great.
Because endings typically don't bother me at all.
Yeah, I'm not usually one to get upset about a bad ending
because I don't want to let 5% of something ruin the other 95.
But
I had a lot of fun with Mass Effect 3. Like, some stuff, of course, didn't make sense, but I still had fun with it.
It's just that, like, a lot of the stuff that they changed, I thought they changed for the worse. Like, I hated that the way you pick up missions in the city is just by, like, overhearing them. Because I was usually, like, hauling ass around, like, trying to get shit done. And then...
You would just miss
all
missions.
All of a sudden... Well, you'll be running by... And, like, for 3 seconds, you hear someone say something, and then all of a sudden there's, like, a mission in your codec, and you have no idea why you have it, because you weren't necessarily paying attention to what these people were talking about, you know? It's just, like, I didn't feel like I took on the mission. I felt like suddenly I have a task, and I have no idea why, or, like, what the fuck I'm doing, and, like, you know... I'm
my kitty.
When I play like RPGs, I play them very methodically. Where like I go through the entire city and I talk to everybody before I move on. You know, to the point that in Mass Effect 1, the first time I went to the Citadel, I spent like 7 hours doing every mission on the Citadel. Because I thought there was going to be multiple hubs, or that you were going to come back there and like get more missions later. Which you get like 2 more missions later, not a lot. Which kind of like fucked up the pacing of the game for me, because like I did so much on the Citadel, and then like all that was really left was all the main missions, and it was like, oh, I was hoping there'd be more on the Citadel. And I thought Mass Effect 2 balanced that way better by having multiple hub worlds.
Yes, it did.
And having more missions show up, like, you know, later on. Well, not really.
Or like certain things
you knocked out the
Mass
first place pretty much immediately.
Mass Effect 2 was more like with the Citadel, like you couldn't do certain things till later on, till certain things happened in the main story.
So like when I played Mass Effect 1, I spent the whole time doing everything I could do in the Citadel, and I was completely fascinated with it. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, you know. And then, I get to 2, and they have, like, the seedy version of the Citadel. Like, this is, like, the back alley place. This is fucking rad, too. Like, what is that place called? I can't remember. The place where Arya Taloic is. And all the fucking things with the teeth.
Fuck.
Where you meet Mord and re-get Garrus.
The Underworld.
That's not what it's called.
I don't remember.
I can't remember either. It was a really cool place, and it was particularly cool because Mass Effect 1 had all been like the pristine Star Trek Next Gen, like beautiful, like this is what space will be in the future kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then Mass Effect 2 is like pulp sci-fi, like the seedy underbelly, the hive of scum and villainy, Star Wars,
real Blade
dirty,
Runner shit.
Blade Runner, like, and so it was like, oh man, now we're really seeing like the other side of Mass Effect, and then you go back to the Citadel later, and but it's like a different version where it's like more dark and edgy.
Excuse me.
But then in Mass Effect 3, it's back to just the Citadel. It's smaller than it's ever been before, and you have to get around on fucking elevators, which was annoying. And you pick up missions by just happening to be where someone's talking about something, Shit like that bothered me. There's a lot to like about Mass Effect 3, and there's a lot to like about the Citadel in Mass Effect 3, such as the movie advertisement.
Oh, yeah.
What was it called? Like Chumbo or something?
I don't.
The one about
I need to play the games again.
The space squid that was an action movie hero. It's amazing. Everybody play Mass Effect.
Oh, the jellyfish.
Next time on Digi
The jellyfish.
Yeah. Next time we'll do
Digi
another
Bros.
level.